let's have a little visionary meeting for the month of May where we check in with our visionary selves and, ask what are we working towards? How are we working towards it? Is this in alignment with our long term vision? Is this like what can we do daily that actually moves the needle forward in this time frame? And what's realistic expectations to end this month with? And move through this month? How do we want to feel as we move through? And before we get started with all the technicalities, I have a little thing that I wrote that I feel like will just kind of activate us into this space. So you can close your eyes if you want, or just take a deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top for however it feels comfortable, and releasing through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. And we are landing into the month of May. So I release, and you can repeat this to yourself in your head or repeat this to yourself out loud if you like. I release any energy that no longer serves my highest timeline. I ask for every subconscious block that remains in my way to be reflected back to me so clearly so that I can move past when I'm ready. I call in infinite daily source with this openness that always brings me into presence of my highest timeline, with the knowledge that I am loved, accepted, valued, and have worth, and nothing that happens this month can change that. So that's sort of anchoring us in. So I have some questions. I have my little whiteboard of questions that I was thinking about this for this month. And yeah, I just can't believe it's May 1. That's kind of crazy, but wow, I'm so glad it's green. The first question is the Pisces in me. It's what's the flowery feeling for this month? So it doesn't have to be a part of any of your goals, any of your things. Just what's the vibe? If you could put a dream like vibe onto it. So the words that instantly popped into my head was just like lavender, fog, fairy, forest. I don't know, but that just feels like the vibe for this month for me. So what's your vibe? What's your just flowery vibe? Nothing to do with your goals. And what are the books that you're reading for this month? And some later questions might actually determine what those are. But for me, I am reading my friend's book that just released like the very end of April, and I got it in the mail. Oh, it's so crazy to see her work in like a physical book. But I will share her book below. It's by Blood, Shadow, and Fire. It's her debut book. It's a fantasy. It's so good. I'm excited to read it. And I have also been going through the book Reality Transurfing, which has been really, really interesting. I'm actually listening to it, kind of like a big podcast. It's some fascinating stuff if you're into quantum physics, manifestation, like anything of that sort. I don't know, look into it if it calls to you. But, well, I'll share my other book that I'm thinking about a little bit later because it kind of goes into some other questions. But yeah, what are the books that you're reading? Share them below. Suggest any books for me. I always love book suggestions. I love reading. Sometimes I feel like I read more in the winter as opposed to summer and fall and all that, but I think it's because I don't have cute little spots set up everywhere to just go and read. And so that's kind of maybe one of my May goals is to just like set up little book nooks in my yard so I can just be outside and read a lot. Um, Chickens are here. I don't know if you heard that. They're barking. Okay. What is the word theme for the month? I feel like I don't have mine nailed down yet. I know in my spring equinox planning session, I thought May would be a lot more about marketing, because I thought that I was going to work on my kitchen sink series like all of April and then release it to the public like later, but it ended up just being a live group. And it is now released to the public. It's like over, but you can do the self-paced audios. But I don't know. Like, I might still work on marketing that, I guess, but it's mainly me just sharing and talking about it whenever it comes up in a video or I think about it, and that's how it's working for me. So, and I'm not feeling as like pulled or called to like dig deep into marketing aspects at the moment, so I don't think that's my word. But if I had to use maybe a little bit of a different word, or energy, it would be storytelling, because I just feel like I can see myself in these daily videos get better and better at storytelling. And I am also am reworking on my novel this month, which I'll get to as well. So I would say storytelling is more on brand for the month of May for me. But I really like the alliteration, so I just want to say magic, May magic, you know? Um, anyway, so what's your word for the month? And if you want to, just write all of these questions in your comment and leave whatever you feel called to share down below. I love seeing people's goals and answers. Like, that part is so fun for me. So please share whichever ones you feel called to. Okay. So we're going to work with three things: your personal project, your creative project, and your work project. Like, what are the things that come up when you initially think of those things? And some of them can be kind of combined, like my creative work and my work is kind of commingling, but there's still a little bit different energies. So my creative work would be YouTube, and that's like coinciding with my work a little bit. And my work is working with my clients this month, which I'm really excited about. And again, learning how to market the kitchen sink series a little bit, but also potentially working on a new series that I've thought about. And my personal project, I would say, is just the garden. I don't think you can see in the camera. We've started our garden bed, so this whole field behind me will probably be garden beds in a little bit. So anyway, what's your personal project? What's your creative project? And what's your work project? Another creative I don't think I mentioned is my novel. So I'm getting back to that, but more on that in a minute. And then whenever you take these projects, I also want you to ask, where does that go in your week or day? So I don't want you to just be like gardening and then I hope I do it. For me, I just like, sometimes I just won't if it's not really set up to be a part of my daily rhythm. So I just call it like field trips or outside time for myself. So I'll have like a field trip with my chickens and myself. And it's like once I'm outside and I'm looking at all these things and I have my tools with me, like if I have my clippers or gloves or whatever, it's like I can't help but do something, like trim some stuff up, pull some weeds, transplant a plant. Like, it will just come naturally. But I am a responder to things, and I know that about myself. So it's just about like looking somewhere in the day for outside time. For me, for the personal project, how does that apply to your project? Where in the day or week, like if it's not something that you can do daily or you're committing to your daily top 3, which we'll also get to, where does it go in your week? Like, can you always garden on Thursday nights and Saturday, like all day, if that's your schedule? Like, where does it fit best in your schedule? And same for the creative projects and stuff, like book writing and YouTube are top of my daily top three. And so that's something I know I'm fitting into daily and always thinking about where does this fit into my day. Whereas client work and working on courses and stuff is just a little bit different. And it's more of a weekly cadence because I don't really want to work on the weekends. So my schedule is like Monday through Thursday, which I love. And for these projects, another question I want you to ask about is what is the output that you can control for these projects? And the key is the output that you control. So we're not really looking at like the stats of YouTube, the money you've brought in, the I'm trying to think. Yeah. You're not looking at stats, you're not looking at like just things that are out of your control. How many subscribers do you have? How many views did you get? How, like, all that stuff. You can't control that, truly. You can control your output. So how are you controlling that output? So for me, it's like doing a daily YouTube video for the month of May. It's deciding to, like, with my book, it's a little tricky because I don't exactly know how to track it as much. You can do word count. Sometimes that's helpful, but I'm doing kind of a whole outline redo. Maybe tomorrow I'll like really get into my plans for my novel this month. If you all are interested in that, let me know. But yeah, it's like, am I just spending 30 minutes a day on my novel and doing my daily YouTube video? Like, look at your projects and where you can actually fit those in. Obviously, for working clients, like I said, Monday through Thursday sort of energy. And how are you controlling that output for yourself? How are you marketing? How are you, like, all that stuff, you know? But none of it can involve external stats, I guess. But the thing you can do is take a picture of your stats before the month gets super started. I'm going to take a picture of this empty field before gardening, and then like at the end of the month I'll have a picture and be like, just the comparison. You can see your progress through the comparison of the before and after, which is kind of cool. Next is, where is your check-in ritual with yourself? So are you kind of checking in on your daily to-do list in the morning over coffee, right after breakfast, the night before, like setting everything up? Like, which kind of daily planner are you? If daily planning kind of like gets in the way, like I've been in spaces where I can't just think about what I'm trying to do every day. It like kind of distracts me. So I'm just picking, like, I'm just doing a daily YouTube video, I'm just doing this, I'm just doing that, and I'm just doing it, you know, just taking action. Whatever phase you're in, when are you checking in? So even in the times where I wasn't planning as much in the beginning of the day, I would always take a walk and just think about what, like, I'm talking about on YouTube. like that was where I would center. So yeah, where's your daily center time? And it can be the time that you plan out for the day. It doesn't have to be, though. It also doesn't have to be daily. Like, do you sit down every Monday and sort of have a check-in with yourself about like your priorities for the week? Because that is really helpful too. Okay. Next is something that you're learning. What are you feeling called to like learn and get in the trenches of? For me, like I said, I feel like storytelling is really big in my, like, I really want to get better. And there's a lot of getting better by doing, but the best part about doing is that now you can further deepen your knowledge by reading books or watching YouTubes or whatever. And you have so many opportunities to actually apply what you're learning, which is how a lot of like really good big growth happens. So when it's something you're learning, you can go to the library, check out some books on the subject, whatever. Or for me, I feel like it's going to mean whenever I'm in my lower downtime, I'm going to be looking up YouTube specifically about storytelling. And also, I might add a storytelling book. I don't know which one. There's a lot of really good ones out there. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, what is something you're learning? That way, if you name it at the beginning of the month, then when you're having those lull times, when you're about to do dishes, when you're about to go on your walk, when you're about to have a car ride, you don't have to scramble like finding this podcast or that, like, you can just be like, oh yeah, I wanted to learn about herbalism, and just like find something. Like, you almost have this frame of reference, and you can build in pockets of learning time in these just like mundane tasks and stuff, I feel. Or at least that's what I like to do. I mean, I love great music days and stuff when my energy is shifting for that more dancey feeling, but I also really just love podcasts and learning and like putting on informational YouTubes and stuff like that. So if I know I'm looking at storytelling and maybe gardening, I can just have that sort of top of mind. The storytelling will also help with my novel. And then well, actually not last. Which one should I do first? I think I'll do the wish first. So the wish, I want it to be how earlier I was talking about what's the output. We don't want to focus on the stats or the numbers or the whatever. But they're still fun and we're still human. So what's your wish? You know what I mean? Like, I want 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And I don't want to circle that all into just May. Like, I'm not specifically putting timelines on these things. It would be cool if it happened by the end of May. That's like just a cool wish and goal. And at the top of your wish in your mind, or if you're writing all this down, if you're writing this down, I applaud you. But I'll also like write out all these questions in the description box so that you could journal on them afterwards if you want, or if you're pausing or whatever. But anyway, before you write your wishes, I want you to write this or something better. This or something better. This was the best phrase one of my past coaches taught me. And this is because, like, okay, my wish is 1,000 YouTube subscribers, but if it's this or something better before that, that means if I don't hit it, that means that's better for me in this phase right now. There's still something I'm learning. There's still something I'm growing around. There's still something here in the under 1,000, and it's better than having 1,000 right now. Or something better, it could be more, you know, like this or something better. So if the something better is the 1,000, cool, you know, like that's my wish. But it kind of helps of like the disappointment that can happen if you don't hit this like outward goal that you actually can't control anyway, of like, oh, that means this is better for me right now. I'm learning something, I'm growing in some way, I'm serving this many people really potently that maybe I couldn't with 1,000 people or whatever. It's better. And so, yeah, what are your like outward wishes that might be stats related? It's okay. I also wish and hope that I have a really great book club, that I get to have picnics with my friends, and that I go swimming in some water, like a lake, that I go to a lake somewhere and swim. That would be probably cold, but fun, like exhilarating, like just stuff. Like if it doesn't happen, it's okay, but it would be fun if I could make that happen this month. Just little wishes out there. And then we're getting to the crux of it all, which is your daily top 3, which I feel like has changed my life so dramatically ever since about March. What are 3 things you can do daily that propel you forward in your creative dream life, in your highest timeline? For me right now, YouTube daily. You already know that. Book stuff. I'm getting back to my book. I'll have a whole separate book planning sort of thing, I think. And dishes, nightly dishes. So the kitchen sink series started because I was actually at the time, one of my daily things was writing a daily Substack. I don't do that anymore. I do still write on Substack quite a bit, once a week at least. But I share some other things if I'm feeling writey, you know. But at the time I was writing daily Substacks, and they were like journal entries to like figure out some blocks. It was really great. But one of them was like, I don't know why it came about. It was like, I want to be an artist, but I feel so frustrated that I can't even like control one little thing like the dishes in my life. Like, I feel so lost by even just the dishes. And I want this big, huge artist, creative, entrepreneur life. Like, what's wrong with? I was very judgmental at the time, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to get this under control. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I need to do the dish, you know, like it was that energy. So I started building my self-trust at this kitchen sink by doing nightly dishes. And that's where the kitchen sink series came about. It was like, what if I made audios for other people to listen to while they're doing their nightly dishes habit, 21 days of building your self-trust. And ironically, I did the dishes every night and stuff, but I kind of, in the chaos of making that group and stuff, lost that habit a little bit. So one of my top 3 is, again, getting back to the dishes, because it just is really helpful. It's great to wake up to a really clean kitchen. And yeah, if you also want something similar, I have the kitchen sink series for those audios for you. But anyway, so YouTube, dishes, and my book are my daily top 3 that I'm going to fit into my day no matter what. So what are your daily top 3 that you can do? Maybe it's writing a Substack article. Maybe you don't release it. Maybe they're all private for you, but even just the idea that someone might read it, that's what was helpful for me and what I realized. And what's helpful even with videos is like, I don't really edit these that much, but obviously I listen back to them just to make sure everything's okay. But that means I'm listening back to myself and how I'm speaking and what I'm thinking and the way I'm thinking things. And like, you're updating your self-concept every 24 hours. You don't see yourself. So when you're writing and stuff, it's kind of the same thing. You can let it all out, but then you're rereading it as if someone else might read it. So it's almost reading it from a third party, and you're clocking a lot of different plot holes of the way you think that you didn't realize before, or at least I did. And it really changed the game in terms of like figuring out a lot of different blocks and moving past them. So anyway, what are your top 3 things that you can commit to every single day that help you and move the needle for your creativity? And I think that's it. I think that's our planning for May, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I am just so excited for this month. I'm excited for the energy. I'm feeling just really good about May, and like just about myself in general, of like sticking to this challenge. And I think around May 10th will be 30 days, because I started at April 10th, and that was my original goal, which is really exciting. But I've committed to sharing every day in May on YouTube as well. So if you want to keep up, listen to more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe, join the community, and leave a comment with all of the answers you wish to share with me or anybody else. And yeah, like I said, got the kitchen sink series for you all, and I am working with women one-on-one. I have a short-term and a longer-term container that we can meet up and chat about if you are feeling it or feeling good energy. So I'll leave you guys there, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.